Hello and welcome to CKE 10,001's gaming channel. In this video, we'll be looking at my ReZero blue-red deck profile. This deck build runs 17 level 0s, 12 level 1s, 4 level 2s, 9 level 3s, and 8 climax cards. So the first card we're going to take a look at are the Brainstormers. I'm running 3 copies of the Brainstormer, the Made Saw Ram. This has 3 effects. The first is continuous. The card name of all your other characters with Subaru is also Barisu, and then it has a auto bond dim light scene with those Rem eyes. Put 1 card from your hand into your waiting room when this card is placed on stage, and then the activate Brainstorm effect, which is pay 1, rest this card, and for each climax revealed, salvage a character. And then I'm running 4 copies of Peaceful Life Rem. It has 2 effects. The first is when this card is placed on stage from your hand, pay 1, take a hit. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 level 1 or lower character, reveal it to your opponent, put it in your hand, and shuffle your deck. And then the second effect is when this card attacks, you may put the top card of your deck into your waiting room. If that card is a climax, you can draw a card, choose a card in your hand, and put it into your waiting room. So the first effect is a nice way to consistently get your level 1 combo ready. And then the second effect is a nice filter effect if needed. And that helps get your level 1, which is the Emilia. Then our other level 0 I'm running 3 copies of is Seemingly Happy Behavior Rem. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, reveal top card of your deck. If that is a magic or weapon character, this card gets +1 level and 1500 power until end of turn. When second effect is when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you can choose one of your other magic or weapon characters, rest it, and move it to an open position of your backstage. So usually the combo is to use this level 0 Suicider to kill your opponent's card, then use this Rem to resurrect it and move it to the back line so you get a +1. So you can use it going on your second turn like that. And then the other level 3 I'm running is Pure and Innocent Emilia. It has 2 effects. The first is continuous. If your hand has 5 or more cards, this card gets +2000 power. The second effect is at the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you may move this card to the open middle position of your center stage. So it's a runner to the middle that can have a high power. And then I'm running 2 copies of Canopy Piercing Sunlight Rem and Ram. It has 2 effects. The first is auto. When this card becomes reversed, if this card's battle opponent is level 0, you may reverse that character. Second effect is activate. Put 1 card from your hand into your waiting room. Put this card into your waiting room. Choose a magic or weapon character in your waiting room and return it to your hand. So it's a nice discard outlet and consistently salvage as well. Then I'm running 2 copies of Flooding Tears Emilia. Has 2 effects. The first is when this card is placed on stage from your hand. If you have 2 or more other magic characters or weapon characters, you can draw 1 card. If you do, choose 1 card in your hand and put in your waiting room. The second is when this card is placed when this card is put into your waiting room from the stage, you can pay 2. If you do, search deck for up to 1 magic character or weapon character, reveal it to your opponent and put in your hand. So I usually use it for the first effect to get climax cards in my hand to get the climax combo ready. Then I'm running 1 copy of A Morning Moment Emilia. Has 2 effects. The first is auto. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, look at up to 2 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 card from among them, put in your hand, put the rest into your waiting room. Choose a card in your hand and put it in your waiting room. And in this deck build, we don't really use the second effect. It's just for the first effect that we use this card. Then I'm running 2 copies of Morning Chores Rem. It has 2 abilities. The first is continuous. This card gets +500 power for each of your other magic or weapon characters. And then the second effect is auto encore, so hand encore. And then essentially it's a nice speeder card with a nice easy encore. And then I'm running 3 copies of Sensing Surreptitiously Rem. It has 2 effects. Continuous during your turn. If you have another magic or weapon character, this card gets +3000 power. And then second effect is auto. When this card attacks, if you have 2 or more other magic or weapon characters, you can look at top 2 cards of your deck, put 1 on top of your deck, and put the other into the waiting room. And then the level 1 combo card, Silver Haired Beauty Emilia. It has 1 effect. Auto climax combo. When this card attacks, if a card named Starting Life in Another World is in your climax area and the number of other magic or weapon characters you have is 3 or more, you can look up to 4 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 magic or weapon character, reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand, put the rest into your waiting room, and then this card gets +1000 power until end turn. And the climax is on a book trigger. And then I'm running 2 copies of the Reinhardt backup. When you use this card's backup, if you have a magic or weapon character, it gets plus 1000, so it's a 102k backup. Then I'm running 2 copies of Bath Time Emilia. It has 3 effects. The first is Continuous Assist. All your low 3 or higher characters in front of this card gets plus 1000 power, which helps your early play Rem. And then the second effect is, let me try to focus in on that a bit. When this card is placed on stage from hand, draw a card, choose a card in your hand, and then discard it. And then the third effect is activate Brainstorm, pay 1, rest this card, flip over 4 cards on top of your deck, put them in the waiting room, and for each climax reveal, you can choose one of your opponent's characters, and that character does not stand during their stand phase. Running 1 copy of Smokelook Emilia. It's a ready to play Punisher backup to the bottom of your opponent's deck by paying 1 stock, discarding a magic or weapon character, and putting 1 character from the stage in the waiting room. And this is Steadfast Principles Emilia has 2 effects. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, choose one of your Emilia characters plus 1000 power. Second effect is 1 card bonus. If this level of this card's battle opponent is higher than your opponent's level, you can put it bottom of your opponent's deck. And then I'm running 4 copies of Blue-Haired Maid Rem. It has 4 abilities. The first is Continuous. If the number of climax cards in your waiting room is 2 or less, this card gets -1 level in your hand. Second effect is Continuous. This card gets plus 1000 for each marker underneath this card. Third is when this card is placed on stage from your hand, you can heal 1 damage. Fourth effect is when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you may choose a magic or weapon character in your waiting room and put it face down underneath this card as a marker. So the more versus this card gets, the bigger it becomes. And then I'm running 4 copies of Pink-Haired Maid Ram. It has 3 effects. The first is when this card is placed on stage from your hand, look at up to 3 cards from your deck, choose up to 1 card from all of them, put it in your hand, put the rest in your waiting room. Second is Auto Climax. When a card named Subaru Natsuki's Deco Tactic is placed on your climax area, if this card is on your center stage, choose up to 2 cards in your opponent's waiting room, return it to your opponent's deck. Your opponent shuffle his or her deck, and this card gets plus 3000 power until the end of turn. The third effect is Auto. When this card attacks, you can pay 2 stock, discard a card. If you do, deal 1 damage to your opponent. And then I'm running 1 copy of the trial deck level 3 Light of Love Rem. It has 2 effects. The first is when the card is placed on stage of hand, draw up to 2 cards, choose a card in your hand, and put it in your waiting room. Second effect is when the card attacks, you can discard 1 card, pay 1 stock. If you do, put the top 5 cards of your deck into your waiting room and deal X damage to your opponent. X equals to the number of climax cards revealed amongst those milled cards. And then I'm running 4 copies of the Subaru Natsuki Decoy Tactic for the level 3 ROM card, and 4 copies of Starting Life in Another World for the Emilia level 1 combo. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Check EncoreDecks.com in the link in the description below to see an overview of this deck profile.